So selling the concept of Cutco. What is the concept behind Cutco? You buy Cutco how many times? Once. You have it for how long? Forever. And it cuts just as well as the day you got it. Do you have to pay to maintain it? No. Do you ever have to replace it? No. It's something you can get to kids, grandkids, great-grandkids, forever. That's what you're selling, that right there. That little phrase, that whole concept, that idea. Once you sell them that concept, it's no longer about pieces. It's no longer about features and benefits. It's about the concept of owning it once and never having to do it again. So the Cutco Kitchen page, you guys are going to get this handout at the end of my message, and you guys want to put this in your book. Now at the top we have the phone line that we talked about before, and then the urgency phrase. Can someone read the urgency phrase for me? Can I get a volunteer?
Oh, here, me.
So what this means for you, Ms. Jones, is if you see something that you like, don't take advantage of me. I'm super motivated right now, I promise, because of
My contest, scholarship.
you get the most ridiculous deal on the ground.
So Ms. Jones, what this means, after I share my goals, I'm always bringing it back to my customer, right? What's in it for them? What's in it for you? So Ms. Jones, I know that all these goals are cool. Basically what that means for you is if you see something that you like, don't wait. Get it today. Take advantage of me because I'm working super hard for this contest and I promise you get the most ridiculous, crazy, insane, unreal, help me with my scholarship special you'll ever get on Cutco. You ready to take a look? All right, high five. So when you get to the Cutco Kitchen page, this is something you want to do after you cover the guarantee. Pay attention because the Cutco Kitchen, this is what you guys have been waiting for. After the guarantee, before you get to names and uses, one of the things, the only critique, you know I've talked a lot about the manual today. The only critique I have for the manual is the fact that it goes straight into names and uses after the guarantee. Because that's showing pieces. Do we sell pieces? No. We sell sets. So the first thing you want to show after that, the first Cutco experience that they have is the kitchen. So you show them the guarantee and you move into the kitchen. Ms. Jones, this is the Cutco Kitchen. This is what most customers end up with eventually. Because Ms. Jones, the only problem with Cutco is once you start buying it, you can't stop. All my customers are little Cutco addicts and I love them. They buy from me all the time, it's the best. So it starts with the knives. This is what Cutco is best known for. And this is how I use the page. So on the Cutco Kitchen page, I'll say, so Ms. Jones, this is the Cutco Kitchen. This is what most customers end up with eventually. The knives is what we're best known for. The flatware, Ms. Jones, is the sexiest stuff that we make. And then the cookware, this stuff's really probably the coolest. Have you ever heard of waterless cookware? It cooks with less butter, less fat, less oil, cooks super fast, and it works on induction if you ever switch your stove tops. And that's it. That's how you introduce the concept of the kitchen. Because remember, if you don't show it to them, there's no way for them to buy it. And so the goal of this is really to be showing your customers everything that we make. And then of course we have the accessories at the bottom, which shows usually you get to take a couple of these for free with your set. Again, making the assumption that the set is normal expected. Most people will start with the knives. Some do the knives and the flatware because they get a bunch of free accessories with it. And a couple of people just knock out the whole kitchen all at once because it's like the most ridiculous deal that Cutco does. You buy it once and you're done forever. So let me start by showing you the knives. Ultimately, it's up to you. You can get whatever you want. I'm just going to show you all your options. So I'm going to do this one more time, kind of like I do it with my customers. And by the way, with this, it's not about the words, it's the music, right? It's not what you say, it's how you say it. So it doesn't necessarily need to be word for word, but you got to follow that format and get the idea. So Ms. Jones, notice that pause. I have a lot of dots in the script. Those are like pauses for dramatic effect. The second I pause, everybody's eyes looks up here. And you want the same thing from your customers. So your customers aren't 100% engaged. Ms. Jones, this is the Cutco Kitchen. Okay. This is what most customers end up with eventually, because the cool thing about Cutco is that we buy it once and you're done. So people they get it. Something as silly as a can opener or a vegetable peeler. You don't think about it, but you buy it every 10, 15, every couple of years you're buying a new can opener, a new peeler. Before you know it, you already spent $100 on can openers and you still don't have a can opener that works. So it makes sense to spend a little bit more on Cutco once and then you have the best forever. Not only do you have something that's going to last, you have something that's going to last you for the next 40, 50, 60 years, and it's going to be just as good in 40 years as it is the day that you bought it because of the guarantee. So Ms. Jones, it starts with the knives. This is what Cutco is best known for. Then we have the flatware, and this is the yeah, it's the sexiest stuff Cutco makes. And then we have the cookware, and this stuff's really cool because it's waterless. It cooks with less butter, less fat, less oil. But I'll tell you more about it at the end. And of course, at the bottom, you have all the accessories. These usually come for free with your sets. Most people will start with the knives. Some people start with the knives and the flatware because they get like a ton of free stuff with it. And then a couple of people will do the whole kitchen all at once because it's just such a crazy deal. It's like the best deal we do on Cutco. And you take the hit once, but then you're done forever. You can just check the kitchen off the list for the rest of your life, your kids' lives, forever. But let me start off by showing you the sets. So that's when you move into the sets. Now this is still before names and uses. Before you go into the individual pieces, you want to present the concept of a set. You want to present what these sets are and who the sets are for. So on the back of the handout, you have the introducing sets. Ms. Jones, this is our basic set. This is for pretty much any kitchen. It's only 7 knives, 2 forks, and a spatula. And you get 8 of those table knives at the bottom, but you can always add a few more to get to a full setting of 12 if you'd like. This is Susie's set, because honestly, Susie hates the kitchen. She never ever cooks. This is Bill's set, because he lives in an apartment, he just cooks for himself. This is Blank's set because of blank. That's always at the end of any of my, when I'm introducing the sets to my customers, I always share a story about who owns that set and why. What you have to understand is most people don't buy sets based on what they bring. When you go to William & Sonoma, Macy's, and you go to buy a knife set, how many of those sales clerks go off through all the names and uses? None. They just look at the boxes, see a picture that looks pretty, and they pick that one. And a lot of customers will buy sets from you that way, if you just explain who each set is for. So the basic set's for anybody. It's for any kitchen. It's only 7 knives, 2 forks, and a spatula. 7 knives, 2 forks, and a spatula. 7 knives, 2 forks, and a spatula. It's the best way to describe the homemaker set. It comes with like the bare essentials to kind of get you by in the kitchen. Then Ms. Jones, and I have these out of order here, I'm sorry. Then Ms. Jones, we have the complete set. And again, you're selling with your, not what you say, but how you say it. So Ms. Jones, we have our basic set, and then there's our complete set. And this, Ms. Jones, is the best set for people that love to cook, love to entertain, or just want to have the best. And if you look on here, what I say about the complete set, Ms. Jones, this is our complete set. It's our best set. It's for people who understand they're going to buy it once and have the right tool for the right job forever. Imagine never having to buy another knife for the kitchen. It's also the only set that comes with a full setting of 12 steak knives. This is Susie's set, and Jill's set, and Kathy's set. Celedonio bought this set when he was 23, because he understood like he's just going to have it forever. He's never going to have to buy another set of knives. It was his first set of knives, and guess what? It's his last set of knives. How crazy is that? Especially when you have a customer that's already bought a set, or 2 sets, or 3 sets. Now it's like you buy it once, you're done. You never have to worry about it again. And so the concept of the complete set is not, people don't buy it because of what it brings. They buy it because of the concept that it's complete, that it just has everything. You'll have the right tool for the right job forever. I love that little nugget that Andy gave. It's not about the names and uses, or it doesn't matter how much you cook, because every tool is for a different job, right? And so the complete set's for anybody who understands they're going to buy it once and be done. And then, Ms. Jones, we have our in-between set. And this is the family set. It's for the average family, people that kind of have to cook and want to get in and out of the kitchen as fast as possible. Here's a fun little tip about the family set. Many of you don't know. It's our newest set. It came out in 2010. And the reason was we had so many customers that were ordering a basic set and then adding these 4 pieces. Like an enormous amount of customers were ordering this basic set and adding these pieces, that Cutco finally said, all right, we'll just make a blog for that, since apparently that's what everybody wants. So it's actually a set that was created by our customers. And that's why it's our signature set. And it's made specifically for our customers because so many people were adding these 3 tools. Now, if you want to get good at selling signature sets, what do you have to sell? These pieces right here. This is the difference between a homemaker and a signature set. Now, I don't have time to go through all the names and uses, but they're in your manual. You can reach out to your managers. And if you go on Vector Connect, there's tons of great information on names and uses. But one of the biggest things with names and uses is you guys have to use it yourself. By show of hands, who cuts on every single appointment? How many of you are raising your hand because you feel bad not raising your hand? All right, you don't have to tell me that. But you gotta cut. All right, people don't eat rope leather. And so it's not real when you do those cutting tests. You gotta cut with actual food on your appointments. And using the product, it does 2 things. One, it helps to sell it because they get excited about it. But also, it changes the environment on the appointment. It changes the feel. It changes the connection that you have with your customer. It allows you to build rapport in ways you wouldn't be able to do so otherwise. And the more comfortable they are with you, the more referrals they're going to give you, the more they're going to buy. Karina, how am I doing on time? Okay. So if we have time, we might come back to some more names and uses. But that's the signature set. And the key to selling signature sets is getting them excited about those 3 pieces. Now the complete set, it's really about hot button pieces. And what I mean by hot button pieces is, the bottom line is most customers won't use every tool in the complete set every day. The cleaver is not an everyday tool. The cleaver is kind of like a spare tire. Who has a spare tire in their car? All right, hopefully pretty much everybody. Raise your hand if you have a spare tire in your car. Okay? Now keep your hand up if you use your spare tire every day. All right, nobody. But when you need it, right? It's the same deal with the cleaver and a lot of the other tools in the sets. You have the right tool for the right job when you need it. The 4-inch paring knife down here in South Florida, easy tool to sell. Ms. Jones, down here in Florida, this is our #1 selling paring knife, because down here we do a lot of mangoes, we do a lot of avocados, the bigger fruits and vegetables, and that little paring knife's just not quite big enough to get into those cuts. Have you ever tried to cut an avocado and felt like a nice little small? That's why you have your 4-inch paring knife, right? The boning knife, in my opinion, one of the tools that should come in every set. The boning knife is for all your raw meats, butterflying chicken breasts, trimming fats off of meats. It's one of the best tools that Cutco makes for all your raw meat prep. And depending on the customer, as you get better at your names and uses, as you get better at asking questions and building rapport, you'll know by the time names and uses come around, which are those hot button pieces for that customer. Maybe they do a lot of meats and they disjoint chicken, so the cleaver is going to be awesome. Maybe it's a little Miss Jones who only uses her paring knife. She's not going to be excited about the cleaver, but she might love that 4-inch paring knife. And they don't need to be sold on every piece in the set. They need to be sold on the concept of owning the set and the fact that it comes with everything, you buy it once and you're done. And then they're going to determine which set they get based on the pieces they're most excited about. So if they're really fired up about that 4-inch paring knife, that might be the only reason they buy the complete set. Maybe it's because it has 12 steak knives, they needed a set of steak knives. Because if you did a good job, and the customer really understands they're going to have it for the next 20, 30, 40 years, all of a sudden, when they're picking the set, and they have that 30, 40, 50 years down the line, what's that price difference? It's peanuts. Over the course of the next 40, 50, 60 years, $1,000, they're going to forget about it. An extra $100, $200 a month, it's irrelevant. If they really understand they're going to own it for the rest of their lives, they're going to pick the set that's going to be the best for them long term. And that's going to be based on those pieces.